Welcome to 2024. Um, this is Random Thoughts by Zigusa El Gunene, and it feels like it was just yesterday when I had started the podcast and shared some interesting insights. I suppose I took those for granted because on the 13th of January, I had a book launch, Morning Thoughts by Zigusa El Gunene book launch. I actually call the name of the book like that, Morning Thoughts by Zigusa El Gunene. And the reason for that is because there are a lot of either titles or pages where it's morning thoughts. So I needed this one to be specific. And the full title of the book is Morning Thoughts by Zibuse El Kunene. And if you're listening to this and you're outside of South Africa or outside of the SADC regions, the best thing you can do for yourself is basically go onto Amazon, search for Morning Thoughts by Zibuse El Kunene, and get yourself a copy. And I promise you, you will not regret it. But back now to what I was saying earlier. On the 13th of January 2024, I had a virtual book launch, and the video is also available on my YouTube channel. And guess what's the name? Morning Thoughts by Zibuse El Kunene. And the book launch was very successful. It went very well. It was beyond my wildest expectations. And I cannot wait for the in-person book launch to see how that one will unfold. But I'm trusting that it will come out in the way that it should, in the way that will exceed my expectations as well. But what I want to share with you is I was unaware of the people who were listening to the podcast that I put out last year in 2023 in January, because somehow I lost the consistency there. And it was during the book launch where a friend of mine said, you know what, please restart those podcasts because it's even better to hear the morning thoughts. Yes, it's good to read them, it's good to see the artwork, but it's even better when one gets to hear the author talking about the morning thoughts in the way that you say it. And so I decided that's what I'm going to do. I actually committed into it. And today it is the 24th of January. So it's been over 10 days since that event, and I still hadn't published a podcast because I didn't want to rush into something and I hadn't really thought it through. Because what I did with the morning thoughts initially was to put out a podcast where I was actually reading the thought, and then I went later on to talk about the thought. So this year I want to put a mix into it where I'm reading it and also adding the synthesis into it, kind of sharing my insights behind the actual thought itself, so that you as the listener get to be inspired, get to understand what was going on or what I had intended, and then you can still read and have your own application on the thought itself, on the message itself. And what I would love to see happening with the morning thoughts is that people would read and listen, and then not just rush to the next episode, but they would read, listen, and then take some time to process. And in the processing, they would listen and kind of say, how is this applicable in my life? Where in my life is this applicable? If not applicable right now, I'm going to take it and put it in my back pocket, and then I'm going to come at a later stage and revisit it whenever the time and the event necessitates it. But until then, I will revisit this and process it and enjoy it. And what's also important is there are people in your life who need things like these, who need such inspirational messages, who need inspirational books, just like Morning Thoughts by Zibusa El Kunene, because that book, it does change lives. It helps you calm your anxieties. It helps you get a clearer and a better perspective on over your life. And so I encourage you, stay around for the podcast, stay around for the Morning Thoughts. You'll find them on my socials, be it TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and now I'm even on Medium and Nas.io, where I actually, on those last two platforms, I actually put an expanded and revised version of the other Morning Thought versions posted on other socials. So that's me. I don't want to be too long in the podcast, because then I want you to just grab this and then move on to the next thing that you need to do. If you decide to stay longer, thank you and welcome. And if you've been here for longer, it's much appreciated. Please subscribe, like, share. This is for us and this is for others. Have an awesome day. And if you're listening, whenever it is that you're listening to, hey, well done on investing in yourself. Take care. Bye.